All right, here we go. Welcome back to Moonrunner City. This is Chris, Mayor Chris here, and today we're going to be talking about Old Guard 2. The trailer just dropped, so before we watch it, we're going to give you some context of Old Guard Part 1. Um, Back in 2020, Old Guard pops out on Netflix. Um, this feels like Netflix's like second wave of um, lot of like them releasing a lot of movies on their service. Yeah, like Extraction comes out, just a bunch of comedy specials, shows. Like Netflix really drops a lot of stuff, and this is right around COVID time, so it was pretty much the boost that they needed. So this was a big action movie, $70 million, and you wouldn't know it watching it because the movie looks cheap. This movie for me was kind of meh. Um, like I said, very cheap. Really good looking fights and action set pieces. Um, the action's really good. Premise is really good. All the events that happen in the movie is really good. It seems like the acting is pretty strong. They had a budget and everything's there, but the execution is just really meh. Um, like I said, just for example, I mean, fight scenes just take place in like these just bland areas, like in an office area. It's just not the best. It's really subpar, actually. It's obviously made for Netflix, but it really feels like a Netflix show back in 2013. That's how like really bland and just cheap everything feels. It feels like you could just like kind of put your hand um, through all the sets, or it just looks like they went to like really uninspiring places to shoot this. Um, so yeah, Old Guard Part One really um, not the greatest, but if you're watching it, you knew a sequel was coming. Old Guard, the first one, there's a lot of world building going on, but they don't set up much. So throughout the whole movie, you kind of want all this world building to kind of get set up and happen, and you want to find out the answers of they're immortal. So how do the rules work? Well, you don't really find out, and the movie doesn't really tell you. You get the feeling like the movie doesn't even know. But then they drop hints like, "Oh, we'll find out next time." So here's next time, and here we go with the Old Guard 2. Most of the cast is back. You got Charlize Theron, and you have Uma Thurman is now joining the cast. She looks like she's playing like the big bad, which is cool because Uma Thurman being the bride from Kill Bill, she's like a good action icon to set up against Charlize Theron, who in her own right is her own action icon. You know, she's got a lot of action movies under her belt. Eon Flux, Fast and Furious movies, um, Italian Job back in the day, Atomic Blonde, obviously. So she's done a lot of action stuff. So she's very capable of doing this stuff. And like I said in the first one, the fight scenes are okay, but they still feel very like staged and stilted. Mm. So yeah, what else? Let me just go over my notes here. Yeah, so like the powers, you don't get really. So they're immortal and they live for generations and thousands of years, and it doesn't really the movie doesn't really say if they're good or bad, like whether or not they're mercenaries for good purposes or bad purposes. And even in the movie, there's a line where one of the guys says that it depends on the century. You know, it depends on what era they're in. So that's kind of like, yeah, okay. Like, tell me they're just gonna go back and forth. So that seemed really kind of meh. It, I don't know. I didn't like that. Let's see here. What else? Yeah, so there's just like so much that could be explored that just didn't get explored, and so you watch this and it just everything just felt like it was building up to and then you get nothing. So it was just kind of like a waste of like a good premise, good acting, all that good fight scenes, choreography, choreography. Sorry, could have been a little better. It seems like they didn't really have a lot of time to like practice all of it. But like I said, it's Netflix, so you know, some leeway you know can hold it up. But with $70 million and you watch a movie like Extraction, and Extraction has even a like slightly smaller budget than this. I think Extraction was at like $60 million, and that looks way better than this, and the action is way better executed. Um, so yeah, I think they could have just done a lot more with what they had. So I'll try not to move out of focus here. This is a whole new setup I got going. We're out of the car. We're out of the bedroom. We're back in another bedroom. This one's pink, but we're in a place, and we're trying to keep things going and moving here. So, um, hopefully this light is okay too. Maybe later on we'll get some toys and movies and purple lighting and all that. But let's see what else I got here. Nah, let's just watch it. Let's just get into it. Let's go.
I'm at peace.
Let's go full screen. Hold up. Let's go full screen. Chill out. Nope, nope. Alright. So like I said, most of the cast is back. And we get a different director this time. And I think different writers too. Do I have any notes on the writers? I do not. No, but I know it's a different director. First one was based on a comic book, and the comic book creator was attached to the film and the story, and I think screenwriting, and I think he is also going to be attached to this one as well. He might be the sole screenwriter, but yeah. So it's going to be from the source's mouth. So there's that.
How are you doing?
There we go.
I'm at peace. Didn't look that peaceful when you were throwing that guy out the window.
Okay. Nope, pause it.
Listen, sometimes quick is better than subtle.
Wow. Okay, so right away, these jokes, the delivery is not the best. Ooh, we get some the music.
I've watched you fight to protect humanity. While forsaking
And there's
your
Uma.
kind. I will destroy
Girls are mad.
everything.
Okay, so now in the first one, it looks like part of what we saw there is calling back a story thread from the first one where Charlize Theron is involved with another woman for a time being, and their love is founded out, and so I forget why, but they're pretty much put to the test of sacrificing one or the other, and instead of sacrificing one or the other, I think one just and the bad guy ends up just killing the other one. I think that's what happens. So yeah, somehow her partner ends up in like a steel coffin and gets thrown in the water, and she has the same powers where she can't die. She's immortal, and so she's thrusted into a life where she has to live and die over and over again. Pretty harsh stuff. Pretty nasty. But that's Charlize Theron's thing.
The power you can't even imagine yet.
Okay.
Who is she? She is the first.
Right away, like, production value looks a little better.
Of the immortals. She knows your histories, your relationships. I am scared of what she is capable of.
So it looks like they dug out Charlize Theron's ex-partner. The ex is back. Ex-girlfriends. No, she looks fine.
How do I find her? You and your friends don't have much time left.
The music here is giving me like Batwoman, the show vibes. Ooh, car crashes.
Do you think she knows that I've lost my immortality?
Nothing that lives forever.
Yeah. So Charlize Theron is no longer immortal, so she can die.
I don't have a choice.
So that was one of those things that they didn't really explain how or why that happens. They just eventually lose their powers. It could just happen at any time. So my thoughts are that probably means that they could always possibly get their powers back. We'll see.
One day you'll understand. Every minute is a step towards death. Then you're coming with me.
Let's go back. So does that mean that last line there where she says, "So you're coming with me"? Does that mean that Uma Thurman character was also immortal and not immortal anymore? That's fun. And we get this cool sword fight between the two action icons. The music. Netflix, July 2nd. Okay. So yeah, there we go, guys. That is Old Guard 2. Yeah, so my thoughts on this is I'll be there watching it on July 2nd. We'll see. It looks like they're going for July 4th weekend. And so good luck to them. Like I said, my thoughts on the first one was didn't really care for it that much. I thought there was cool things about it. The premise is cool, but like I said, they just didn't really go into explaining a lot of it for it to like make sense and for you to like really start to care about anything. Because it seems like the movie didn't care. So hopefully, they got a second shot, and we'll see what they can do with it on July 2nd. All right. So that's the video. Maybe we'll do some more of these trailer react videos. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and like the video and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks. Bye.